The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has uncovered the involvement of a new generation bank, a microfinance bank, and 6 fintech companies in a large-scale investment fraud scheme. The commission disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja, warning Nigerians to be cautious of suspicious investment offers. Senior reporter Celestina Area reports.
The EFCC says it has uncovered disturbing details behind a wave of fraudulent investment schemes targeting unsuspecting Nigerians. Addressing journalists at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja, the EFCC's Director of Public Affairs, Wilson Owujare, revealed that investigations have exposed multiple syndicates using sophisticated digital platforms to defraud victims. One of the schemes, according to the Commission, operated under the guise of an airline ticket discount offer. Fraudsters advertised discounted flight tickets from a foreign airline, directing victims to a payment platform carefully designed to appear as though funds were being paid directly to the airline. But that was only the beginning. Once payment was made, the victim's entire bank balance were allegedly wiped out. EFCC investigations showed that more than 700 victims have fallen prey to this scheme alone, with losses estimated at 651 million naira. So far, the Commission says. It has recovered and returned 33 million naira to affected victims. The EFCC also disclosed that the airline tickets fraud is being masterminded by a foreign national.
7 victims came up to file complaints with the Commission. But in the course of the investigation, we discovered that over 700 people have been defrauded through this scheme. And a staggering amount of 651,900,755 naira have so far been lost through this scheme.
Another major scheme uncovered by the Commission involves a company known as Fred and Freda Investment Limited, also called FF Investment. The company allegedly lured Nigerians into a bogus investment arrangement, promising high returns. Investigations show over 200,000 victims were defrauded, with an estimated 18 billion naira funneled through 9 companies offering various fake investment packages. According to the EFCC, foreign nationals are also behind this operation, working with 3 Nigerians accomplices who have now been arrested and charged to court. The Commission further revealed that a new generation bank, a microfinance bank, and 6 fintech companies are allegedly linked to the movement of funds connected to these schemes.
Nigerians to be very careful with their personal identity. Nobody should just call you like that and tell you that they are doing palliative and you send your account. If government wants to do palliative, they know the channels and how to get it done in an organized manner. I've interviewed a lot of officials from that new generation bank and helping us with information and the investigation. And in fact, the fintechs and microfinance bank, some of them were even detained and released in the course of investigation.
The EFCC is now calling on regulatory agencies to set up oversight of financial institutions. The Commission wants stricter enforcement of compliance requirements, including know your customer, customer due diligence, and suspicious transactions reports to prevent financial platforms from being used as channel for fraud. The EFCC also urged Nigerians to remain vigilant and verify investment opportunities before committing their money. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
Nadan Yogo is Director General, Good Governance Advocacy International. He joins me on the news this hour for more on this developing story. We now hear that a new generation bank, a microfinance bank, and several fintech companies were used to move these funds. At what point does weak compliance cross the line into aiding a crime? And should institutions face sanctions even when foreign actors are the main drivers?
Well, thank you for having me. Good evening. These are very serious financial crime, economic crime. It's not just a crime in Nigeria, it's a global crime. And so where institutions are alleged to have done some of these infractions, it calls for very serious concern. You know, there are regulatory bodies, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other regulatory bodies that license these financial houses, including the banks and all that. So they have to come in and take very serious sanctions against this kind of banks and other tech companies. Now, I want to see a situation where we don't just arrest and recover this money, but we prosecute. You have seen that globally, the celebrated case of Hush Puppy, that if you do the crime, you must have to do the time. Not just recovery of money or arrest, but we must collectively prosecute these offenders, because it's a very serious economic crime. Because when people are no longer willing or eager to transact business, I mean, especially in this digital age, you believe you are paying for an item, and that item is fraud, and is aided by a licensed bank. That calls for very serious sanctions from the regulatory body.
It does. I'm also curious about how well we're doing even recovering the funds. If you look at the figures, over 200,000 Nigerians allegedly lost about 18 billion naira in one scheme, but only 33 billion naira has been recovered so far. What does this gap tell us about asset tracing, cross-border cooperation, and even the capacity of our institutions to deliver justice to victims?
It's always very difficult to recover the lump sum of any fraudulent activity or transactions. But then my interest, our interest should be on preventive measure. And this calls for, let me use this opportunity to call on the National Orientation Agency. Even our organization, the Good Governance Advocacy International, we recently had a public lecture where we invited all the key stakeholders to say, look, if we want to make this country right, all of us have a role to play. Because we as a country, we are more reactive than being proactive. And proactive measures in governance is what makes a government respected globally. Now, how do you allow this kind of fraud to take place over time? I know it happens in other clients too, but then we must have to put those safeguards, safeguards, because I am pained because a licensed bank, I mean, a licensed commercial bank or some of these fintechs, I mean, they are licensed, they have the regulators are there. How do we allow such licensed entity to be used for fraudulent activities?
And it's a very important question, if I can just jump in, because EFCC is saying foreign nationals are the masterminds behind these schemes, working with local accomplices. From a governor's perspective, how serious is would you say Nigeria's vulnerability is to issues like cross-border financial crime, and where are we clearly falling short in monitoring these foreign-linked digital transactions, if we can wrap it there?
Yeah, unfortunately, we Nigerians, with the greatest respect, we are quite vulnerable because everybody wants quick money, quick cash. Somebody brings an investment that promises you 300% returns, and you jump at it. We have had several schemes. That's why I say the role of the National Orientation Agency and even some of our organizations too is key in educating our populace, because we're quite vulnerable, and then that robust institutions that guard against or foresee some of these fraudulent schemes. Just like I said, that I am paying, Nigerians are paying that a commercial bank, and that calls for very serious sanctions actually, because what is expected is that a corporate entity that is that is subsumed in criminality can be unveiled and treated very harshly in accordance with the law.
Okay.
You can unveil the corporate entity and treat these directors or whoever is involved, send them to jail, and then if it is so bad, we can withdraw their licenses. Those are stopgaps that we have to use.
Good place to leave it. Leonard Ayogo, DG Good Governance Advocacy International, thank you for talking to us.